Good morning. I welcome all of you that are here in this place and all of you that are watching from home. It simply is a beautiful day, and thank you for being here. I would like to read a short selection from the collected essays of Stuart Grayson. And he's talking about the process of oneness and the oneness with God. So here we go. There is a single reality. It is universal and ever present. Is this the vantage point from which you view your life? What do you believe about the cause behind all situations? Where do discouragement, fear, doubt, calamity come from? They cannot proceed from the eternal source, that perfect fount of life, the inexhaustible one. They must come from within our own consciousness. Therefore, you must set yourself right with the universe. You must find the source if we are to be supplied. You must sense that you express the life of God if you wish to realize the Spirit in your life. Oneness is the key to life and existence. It is the single reality. It is what we need to recognize again and again. Think in terms of a single reality, not a dual reality. Many may find that an idea within them, usually coming from some past teaching, past acceptance, or what psychologists would call conditioning, presents them from really embracing this concept and moving forward. There is something that makes them resist it. They would like to hear an echo of the old conditioning, perhaps a familiar religious concept or idea. This is even true of those who never went to church or participated in any kind of spiritual background. What we are trying to do here is to get a sense of oneness that will enable us to break the conditioning of the past and move us forward in life. We need an understanding of the universal principle and the way it functions. We have to break the cocoon of the past. We must not remain in the same state of mind. If we do, we frustrate all possibility of personal evolution to a higher awareness and greater freedom. So I invite you to simply close your eyes and to take a deep breath. And as you breathe for this next few minutes, to think about, to be aware of the oneness that is in existence between you and God, between each of us and the others around us. That oneness is not something separate. It is not something different. We are simply here together to be part of the life of God. And so take a breath and continue to breathe slowly and deeply until we call you out. celebrate each other and to celebrate our connection with the Spirit. And so, with great thanks, I let this be and invite you to join us all when the service begins. And so it is.
Good morning, everyone. Woo, that was really loud. Really loud. Sorry for everybody in the room. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you so very much for joining us here at 4 Points by Sheridan, or for inviting us into your home this morning. We are very, very grateful that you are participating. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Dusty Ripplemeyer, and I have the honor and privilege of being this community's spiritual director. We are part of a larger group of centers and teaching chapters and special focus ministries called Centers for Spiritual Living. And at Centers for Spiritual Living, we believe that there is one power and presence that is back of everything that there is, the creative energy that has created everything, seen and unseen, and that we are a part of that. We believe that because we were created by God, out of God, then we were created in its image and likeness. And since it is creative, then we too are creative, and in fact have been creating the experiences of our lives throughout our lives, whether we have known it or not. So consciously or unconsciously, we have created our lives. Now, for some of us, that might be, what do you mean I didn't create this thing? Certainly I didn't choose this. Well, you know, but I kind of think it's the good news, because what that says is that if I don't particularly I'm not fond of the experience that I'm having right now, then I can change it. Change your thinking, change your life is more than just a bumper sticker. It is a principle, and we can use it to create lives that we love, to create a world that actually works for everyone. And so we come together on Sundays and Wednesday nights on Zoom, and for classes and for social events, to support each other as we walk this spiritual path, to remind each other who we really truly are, and to know the truth when someone else is struggling to know that. So we're very glad that you're with us today, because that just expands our reach and expands and deepens our family. So thank you so very much for being here. Just to let you know, I think some people knew that Heather and I and Eileen and Lisa were not here in North Carolina this last week, that we actually spent some time in the Monterey area of Northern California. We spent 3 days and 3 nights with hundreds of other ministers and practitioners and laity from different centers and teaching chapters and focus ministries throughout Centers for Spiritual Living all across the globe. Came there for that week. We kept calling it a week, even though it really wasn't a week. But we kept calling it a week, and we spent our time together on the grounds of a place called Asilomar. Now, Asilomar is a retreat center just a little bit south of Monterey. It is a beautiful, beautiful area right on the shores of the Pacific Ocean. Absolutely beautiful. For those of you that like your weather to be a little bit colder, it was in the 50s at night and upper 60s during the day, so you would have been in heaven. Now, the reason we were there is because we held, Centers for Spiritual Living held their summer retreat there. The summer retreat was called SOAR 2023, and the tagline was the newness of now. The newness of now. Retreat, renew, reconnect. So it was a really amazing experience. The grounds are wonderfully sacred. They are they hold within them history. They hold within them history. The grounds, the chapel on the grounds, is where Ernest Holmes gave his sermon, the Sermon by the Sea, if you've ever heard of it. So it really holds a very deep place in all of our hearts for Centers for Spiritual Living. The speakers were brilliant. The music was off the charts. And the food was delicious. And the energy was, shall I use the name, soaring. Soaring. Now, as the name implies, it was a retreat. A retreat. So it was a time for seclusion, a time for solitude, a time for withdrawal, to spend time in prayer or meditation or walking in nature, to be mindful, to surrender, right? And to really be grateful. Grateful for this experience of life. It was a time to really surround yourself in peace. As the name implies, it was a time for renewal. Really, a time to recharge our own batteries, to feed our own souls, to fill our own cups individually and collectively. A time to come together to remind each other, because, you know, even us ministers need a reminder every once in a while of who we are and what we really are, and to support each other as we align ourselves with the truth of our being. As the name implies, it was a time to reconnect with people that we've known for years, to reconnect with people that maybe we went through practitioner training with or ministerial training with, to reconnect with people that we had met in past retreats, and to be able to come together in a way that we hadn't been able to come together for quite a while now, right? So to really be able to reconnect with our roots, and to do it in this place called Asilomar that we haven't really been able to attend since, I think they've done it once now since 2013, but that was 5 years ago. So really this really wonderful time to reconnect, a time to reconnect and to celebrate our oneness. And, right, and that lovely word, capital A, capital N, capital D, and it was a time for each of us to become curious about what is calling us to retreat from, to move back or to move away from those things that no longer serve us, to recede from positions and stands and beliefs that no longer resonate with our values or our new understanding, to step into the process of change or undergoing change, really in our ways of thinking or our ways of being in the world. It was a time to recognize those thoughts and feelings and beliefs that need to be renewed, rethought, revamped, reimagined, redesigned, or rephrased, so that we can truly make something brand new. Not bring forward the past, but to make something brand new, a new, kind, thoughtful, and inclusive world. A new way of looking and a new way of living from a renewed global family. A renewed way of living in harmony with Mother Earth. Knowing that we live our lives from the inside out, who do we have to be, and ultimately, what do we have to do, right? Treat and move your feet. What do we ultimately have to do in order to be and live the changes that we wish to see? It was a time to reconnect with our passion, our purpose, our calling, our commitment, our dedication, our vision, and our willingness to serve that which is wanting to be expressed through and as us. Things are changing, and other things are wanting and needing to change and to grow and to evolve. So the invitation is to reconnect with that sacred place within us that absolutely knows what needs to happen for that to come about. That knows how to bring it forward with grace and with ease. Because we don't always know. But there is that within us that does. to reconnect with our teaching in a way as to keep it vital and meaningful and relevant for the times that we are experiencing right here and right now. Over the next few weeks and during our community town hall meeting, my intention is to share some wisdom from the various speakers and the workshops and the musicians that I experienced during my time at Asilomar, and to invite each and every one of us to retreat, to renew, and to reconnect, both individually and collectively as the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you to Carol Cross and Rebecca Figueroa for facilitating our Wednesday service in my absence, to Tom Pittman for his regular Tuesday prayer and meditation call, to Reverend Andy Ross for his willingness to speak today, which allowed me to really be available for each and every single moment of my Asilomar experience, and for everyone who held the high watch during my absence. I appreciate you all so very much, and I love you madly. Woo-woo. So speaking of the retreat, I would just like to take a moment to welcome to our center Reverend Casey Taylor, who just happened to be coming to Raleigh anyway, and we reconnected at Asilomar. We've known each other since my time in Chicago. And Reverend Casey is the spiritual director and co-founder of Spirit Uncensored, the assistant minister of the United Life Center for Spiritual Living in Oklahoma City, and on the leadership team of the CSL Next Gen Retreat Ministry. And you'll appreciate this because we do follow the global themes. They are on the CSL Global Themes team, bringing us those global themes year after year after year. So welcome to North Carolina. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Reverend Casey, thank you. And in this moment, I would just like to take a moment of silent prayer for all of those people and other sentient beings who have been and continue to be affected by the fires in Maui. So just a moment of silence for them, sending out our thoughts and prayers to everyone there. Thank you all so very much. Lastly, I'd like to thank Reverend Betty Harris for her beautiful meditation that expanded the space that our service will unfold within. Thank you very much, Reverend Betty. And speaking of Reverend Betty, let's welcome her back to the pulpit.
Good morning. Okay. There we go. The theme for this year, for 2023, is Living Out Loud. Our theme for the month of August is My Passion, My Purpose. And Reverend Andy's talk today is Percolating Your Passion with Purpose. Whatever that means. 45 minutes from now, we'll know. Oh, yeah. Okay, I am now going to read this community's purpose statement. This is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. So, I invite you to turn within, to open your heart and mind, and to allow the healing sounds of the crystal bowls to simply wash over you.
Morning. Thank you. My name is Heather Abbott, and I gratefully serve this community as a practitioner, and I'm grateful to be here this morning. These beautiful flowers this morning were provided by Deb Barrio, and she has a flower dedication for us. She says, "I am so grateful for the support from Dusty, my home group, and all of the practitioners who treated for the best outcomes for my surgery and other recent situations in my life. Much love and appreciation for your guidance and support through it all. Love, Deb." The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors the diversity and threads of truth that run through all spiritual paths. As represented by this ceremony, please welcome John and Diane, who will be assisting us this morning. Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love, and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by sacred law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest calling. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Science of mind and spirit is the path of the divine principle of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere, with no exceptions. May peace prevail on earth through the followers of all paths. And so it is. Thank you both. I now invite you to please turn within, if you're comfortable, closing your outer eyes as I speak a word of blessing for today's service. In this now beautiful moment, I recognize the power and presence that is the One. God, Spirit, Mother Nature, whatever name you put on it, it is the power back of all of creation. I know that power as the one source of all, as love, as peace, infinite wisdom, and infinite intelligence. I know that it is the ultimate being, that we are all connected to it, through it, that it is experiencing this human experience through us. I know that I am one with it, as I know that we each are. The golden thread that connects us all. I know that I am supported, fueled, funded by that amazing source. I speak a word of blessing on the service today. Blessing Reverend Dusty for her leadership, for the love that she has for this community. Blessing Reverend Andy as he comes forth with his always beautiful light to share his message with us today. Blessing Reverend Betty for her support of the community and for the beautiful meditation that she began today with. Blessing Ava and AV and Martin as they allow us to be seen and heard online. Blessing Cindy as she comes forth with her beautiful music. And blessing all of our volunteers who came in today to give of their time and energy to prepare us for this service today. And blessing our beautiful community. Each of you that are here today in the room, those that are watching us online, and those that will watch us in the future. So grateful for the presence of each beautiful soul. For all of these blessings, the ones that I am aware of and all of the ones that I am not. I'm grateful. Please anchor this prayer with me by saying, "And so it is." The reading for today is from Parker J. Palmer. He says, "Our deepest calling is to grow into our own authentic selfhood, whether or not it conforms to some image of who we ought to be. As we do so, we will not only find the joy that every human being seeks, we will also find our path of authentic service in the world." And now, please help me welcoming the beautiful Cindy Johnson.
When a sunset takes your breath away, or a gentle whisper tells you everything's okay, when you look into a baby's eyes, or simply feel that knowing from somewhere deep inside, that's what I call God. God, like sunshine in the rain, and all before that came, that's what I call God. Known by many names, but felt to all the same, that's what I call God. When I see a mountain bursting with new life, and catch a glimpse of heaven in someone else's eyes, and find my life is bigger than my dreams, or how the love surrounds me with everything I need, that's what I call God. Oh, God, like sunshine in the rain, and all before that came, that's what I call God. God, known by many names, but felt to all the same, that's what I call God. Oh, there's something truer than my wisdom, more loving than my heart, older than my spirit, burning in me, braver than my courage, stronger than my strength, brighter than my glory, free to be. That's what I call God. God. sunshine in the rain, and all before that came. That's what I call God. God, known by many names, but felt to all the same. That's what I call God. That's what I call God.
My turn. Michael Jordan's going to rest for a minute. Can you go in? Cindy, when you sing, that's what I call God. One more time. Mhm. Man, melting faces. Woo! Ah! Lot of mercy. All right. Percolating your passion with purpose. Percolating your passion with purpose. Say it with me. Percolating your passion with purpose. One more time. Percolating your passion with purpose. I don't know what stirs within you when you say those words. I don't know what stirs within you when the P's come out. The percolating, the passion, and the purpose. But I know what stirs deep within my soul. I know what tries to come up. I know what stirs within my mind and my heart when I hear percolating your passion with purpose. I think, man, I could use a cup of coffee. All week long, I've been thinking about this title, and every time I think about it, I'm like, coffee. I want coffee. And I don't want just a little bit of coffee. I want a lot of it. In fact, when I'm drinking the coffee and it's halfway down and it gets kind of lukewarm, I'm like, I'm ready for a refill. But as serendipity would have it, as I'm thinking about coffee this week, I begin to think about passion and purpose. So I would like to frame our conversation today. Yes, it's a conversation. You will participate with your minds, voices, and bodies. Thank you, Kara. Thank you. As we think about passion and purpose, we are going to answer two questions. Question number one, am I passionate about coffee? Question number two, you are. Yeah. So me starting this conversation made you want to go get some coffee? All right, it's working. Question number one, am I passionate about coffee? Question number two, what is the purpose of coffee? Okay, let's begin. Question number one, am I passionate about coffee? I love coffee. Oh, I love it. My body likes it. I think they call it caffeine. I like a caffeine. I like coffee. I like the sound of it percolating. My dad has a percolator machine, and when you wake up in the morning, it's like... And that sound just does it for me. So my body likes coffee. Emotionally, I resonate with coffee. Even the idea of coffee helps me get up in the morning. I'm like, man, it's 5:30 again. It's Monday. I have a long day, but at least it's going to be okay. So am I passionate about coffee? No, I'm not. I like it. Heck, I even love it. Would I leave my wife for it? That was not where I was going. So it brings me happiness. It brings me pleasure. I mentally and emotionally acquiesce to a life with coffee. If coffee disappeared, I don't know what I'd do. But no, I am not passionate about coffee. Because passion can include pleasure. Passion can include a mental and emotional acquiescence. Passion can include all these things, but passion is more than these things. When you find something you are passionate about, it awakens your entire being. When you find something you're passionate about, that thing, that person, that activity draws you out of yourself. When you find something you're passionate about, you lose yourself and find yourself. Have you seen the spiritual movie Point Break? Spiritual classic, Point Break from the 80s, starring Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze. Patrick Swayze plays Bodhi, the Bodhisattva, a surfer slash mystic slash bank robber. Keanu Reeves, the Keanu, plays Johnny Utah, an ex-football star FBI agent turned undercover surfer. So Johnny Utah's learning to surf, and Bodhi comes up to him one day. They've just fought off these bad guys, including members of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And Bodhi says to Johnny Utah, Johnny, you don't understand surfing yet, do you? It's that place where you lose yourself and find yourself. And you don't know, but you have it. It's right there. When you are passionate about something, you lose yourself. You lose this mental identity, this tiny little mental identity you have of yourself. You are drawn out, and you find in relation to something in the world a bigger way of being. That is passion. And coffee, it is good, but I'm not passionate about it. This, what we're doing right now, I'm pretty passionate about it. So the first question, am I passionate about coffee? No. Question number 2, what is the purpose of coffee? Is the purpose of coffee to be plucked, roasted, sorted, roasted, ground, percolated, and brought to me in a cup? Is that the purpose of coffee? Yes and no. Let's start with no. The purpose of coffee is just like the purpose of every living thing in this reality. The purpose of coffee is to be. Period. The purpose of coffee is to exist. Like every leaf on every tree, like every squirrel, like each and every one of us, the purpose of coffee is simply to be, to exist. When that coffee shoots up out of the ground, it is already achieving its purpose. God creates. That's what God does. God gives. God, Ein Sof, that's from Kabbalah. God, the undifferentiated ground of being, must differentiate itself, must divide and recognize itself as things in life so it can know itself. And when it knows itself, that is purpose. So the purpose of coffee is just to exist. However, to exist in its fullness. For any living thing to exist in its fullness, it must engage with other forms in reality. God differentiates itself. God becomes me and God becomes you, and God becomes the many forms inside me and inside you. And in relationship is where our purpose is actuated and activated. So coffee's purpose when it comes in contact with us is to become this drink. Now, there's plenty of conversations about, are we exploiting coffee? Are we exploiting the world? We're not going to talk about that today. But in relationship is where coffee exists and actualizes its purpose. So yes, the purpose of coffee is simply to be, but the purpose of coffee is also to be in relationship with other forms. And when we found it, we said, hallelujah. Do you know the origin story? I don't know, this is probably mythology, but mythology is better than any history. I mean, I'm sorry, Neil, but mythology is better than your science. It's just more interesting. I'd rather have Shiva than the Big Bang. So the origin story is in Ethiopia there were goat herders, and these goat herders happened to also be Sufis. And the goat herders noticed that when these goats ate this bean, they got all wild and jumped around. And the goat herders thought, I don't know how an Ethiopian accent would be. What? Don't do it. Don't do it. No, I can't even try. What is in there? No, okay. So they said, this is going to be boring then. What is in these beans? What part of Ethiopia are you from? South Carolina. What's in these beans? What's in these magical beans that these goats are eating? So they said, maybe we should start eating the beans, and that was the beginning of coffee. And the Sufis, the mystical Muslims, the mystical bend of Islam are the Sufis. They would break this stuff down and make it into a drink so they could stay awake to meditate. The same mythological origin is that of tea, the tea plant. Bodhidharma, who brought Buddhism from Tibet to India to China, it is said that in order to meditate all night long, he cut his eyelids off. That's what they say. It's mythology. It's not true. But that's what they say. He cut his eyelids off, and where his eyelids fell and hit the ground, that's where the first tea plant grew. So the mystical origins of coffee are just beautiful. So the existence of coffee, the purpose of coffee is to exist in relation to us. Now, what does that have to do with you? Because you, Larry, are not coffee. Sometimes when I'm talking to you, I wish you were. It's like, it'd be nice if you were coffee right now. I'm glad you're not coffee. You are delicious just the way you are. What does this have to do with you? What does this have to do with your passion and your purpose? Let's begin with purpose. Did you know that each and every one of you are living your purpose? Did you know that when you wake up in the morning, before your feet hit the ground and the cat goes, oh, you have already succeeded in having a purpose-filled day before it begins? So you don't have to try to find your purpose. You don't have to try to live a purpose-filled life. You already are. Just by existing, you are fulfilling your role in this life. Just by being you, you are living your purpose as a form, as a manifestation of God. So stop, John. Stop trying so hard. You are already living your purpose. But if you are a unique manifestation of God, if you are completely 100% unique, then how do you actualize that? How do you activate that? How do you become the most you that you can be? Because the most you, Jonathan, the most you cannot be the most you unless you live in relationship with other people. I know not all of us want to do that. Some of us would like to retreat. You know, you can't retreat unless you go into community. You need a community to retreat from. I didn't understand the power of the retreat until I had a family, until I had children. I'm like, oh, I get it now. Jesus would take a boat across the water to be on an island by himself. I'm like, did he have kids? No, he wanted to retreat. But you, to actualize and activate your unique purpose, you have to exist in relationship with others. You have to be drawn out of yourself. And how do you do that? Passion. You follow your passion. Because passion is the how to purpose. The why to purpose just is. Why? Because you exist. End of story. The how of purpose is passion. Like, what do I do today? What do I do with the rest of my life? How am I going to live my purpose? Well, find your passion. Joseph Campbell, my man, who is a mystic, who is a teacher, your man. Oh, look at that. It's like, that's my man. who was a teacher and a mystic and a mythologist and just an amazing human being who looked a little like my grandfather, which is weird. Joseph Campbell was famous for saying, follow your bliss. And you're like, is it that simple? Yes, it's that simple. Find the thing that activates you. Find the thing that when you engage it, every part of your being is actualized. The hardest thing about doing these talks is waiting to do these talks. As soon as the service starts, I'm like, is it my turn? Is it my turn? Is it my turn? And that's not because I'm necessarily good at it. It's not because I have a talent. It's not because I have a mind that you don't have. It's because this actualizes every piece of me. There are bones in my body that I don't use until I get up in front of you. This actualizes my purpose. This is what I'm passionate about. I'm going to tell you a story about a conversation I had. It's wonderful. Oh, it was a wonderful conversation. I was considering being a restaurant manager. Oh, I was hoping for let's try it again. I was thinking about being a restaurant manager. Oh, why? Because I needed money. I'm not going to lie. I was tired of taking money from the people who love me and just kept throwing money at me. I was just tired of telling Becky that, oh, when you go to the grocery store today, this is how much you have to spend. You can get a little bit of milk and a little bit of bread, and then we'll just make do. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to manage this restaurant and make some money and just go to the dark side. So I sat down with the district manager. The district manager, I had known him for years because I had worked at this restaurant, waiting tables and bartending and whatnot. So I sat down with the district manager, who I knew very well, and I sat in front of him, and I was like, I had my little pad and paper because I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And he said to me, what are you doing here? And I was like, well, I think I'm ready to go into management. And he said, I think this is very prophetic. This is one of the prophetic moments of my life. He said, I think I'm here to talk you out of this. I think I'm here to talk you out of this. Word for word, that's what he said. I remember that. I think I'm here to talk you out of this. He says, I trust you. I could give you the keys to this restaurant tomorrow, and you would make good money. This is a fun job. You would have fun, and then you would get invited by another restaurant, and you get caught in the cycle, and 20 years would go by, and it'd be fine, and you'd have money, blah, 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 whatever. But you don't want to do this. What do you want to do? No, just put this money aside. He said, what do you want to do? So I started talking to him about religion, and I started talking to him about mysticism. And he said, that. He said, that. When you talk about that, you light up. So yeah, I think you should do that. You will find things in your life. When you engage those things, you will light up. And guess what the world needs? Lit up people. The world needs your light. There's a wonderful quote about purpose where your thing meets the world's need. Say it. You can't say it. I'm on the spot. I can't say it. It's a good one. Whatever it is, it's a good one. Where your talent meets the world's need or whatever. The world needs your light. Your purpose, yes, is just to be you, but the world needs you to go out of your front door and engage it. The world needs you to follow your passion. The world needs your light. You don't put a light under a bushel. You shine it for all to see. And when you do that, you will find that your life becomes an adventure that you never thought possible. Well, watching young people try to find their purpose is exciting and heart-wrenching. I have young people, and they're searching around for their purposes and their passions, and it's so cool to watch how devastated they are when they fall on their face. And it's so cool to watch them try to navigate and find that thing that they're passionate about. For me, it was humor. For me, it was engaging with people. And I had no idea at the time what that would mean. I had no idea at the time where humor would take me. I wasn't interested in religion at all. I wasn't interested in any of this at the time. I just knew when I talked to somebody and they chuckled, I was propelled out of myself into relationships. So I said, this is the thing. This is the way. I don't care where it's going, because this is the way. Passion is how you activate your purpose. Here's what I want you to do. You probably remember very little of what I say to you, and that's okay. In fact, you might have noticed, Carol, but half of what I say means absolutely nothing. Kahlil Gibran is famous for saying, half of what I say is meaningless, but I say it so the other half will reach you. This is not about you remembering what I say. This is about our relationship. This is about us affecting one another, us allowing this to continue. But I feel like you should write something down. You should remember something. So if you're going to remember something, remember these two things. One, stop trying so hard. You're already living your purpose. One, stop trying so hard. Stop trying to find it. You are it. You woke up with it. You're carrying it into the day, and you sleep with it every night. So one, stop trying so hard. You're already achieving your purpose. And number two, follow your bliss. Pay attention. Be mindful about your existence. Constantly be on the lookout. Boop, 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 boop. Constantly be on the lookout for those things that light you up. Because there's something magical about passion. There's something magical about engaging a world in such a way where you lose yourself and you find yourself. Do those two things, and as Jewel says, you will live a life uncommon. Let's pray. Oh, man. Cindy, I'm waiting for the piano. There it is. Oh, wait. No, there it is. Thank you. Prayers sound better with a little music behind them. In this moment, I am grateful simply to be, simply to exist, simply to be a manifestation of all that is, engaged with all that is. I'm thankful to live a life of purpose, knowing that all I have to do is exist and pay attention. What an amazing thing to be grateful for. I'm also grateful for those things that light me up before I go. I'm grateful for those things that light you up, those things that draw you out of yourself, those things that remind you that life is a pretty exciting thing when you pay attention to it. So in this moment, I ask for divine favor. I ask for help from all of those around me, constant reminders that if I'm following my bliss, I'm doing my job. And I ask for you to do the same. My prayer for you today is that you will walk out of this room, and with each step you take, you will realize what a gift you are, and you'll look for those lights. And as other people are looking for lights, they're looking for you, and you could be someone else's as well. What a gift it is to be in community. What a gift it is to be invited up here to share a little bit of what I'm thinking about. So I'm thankful for this moment. I'm thankful for this community, for what is, what was, and what will always be perfect. You. For all this, I say thank you and amen, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. This is good.
Thank you so much, Reverend Andy. Let's give him another little round of applause. That was awesome. Very beautiful. And I did want to get up and go over and get some coffee too, but it just seemed like a long way to get over there, so I know, right? All right, it is now time for our conscious giving. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is sustained by the giving of our time, talent, and treasure, and this is the time every week when we offer financial support to this community so that we can continue to be a beacon of light and warmth and love in the Greater Triangle area. Together we affirm the truth that this offering lifts this spiritual community, prospers the one giving, and adds to the energy of sufficiency on the planet. Now, there are 3 different ways that you can give, and they're up here on your screen or on your screens at home. Visit our website at www.trianglecsl.org, and up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a button that says Give. You can text the word GIVE using the following number, 919-230-8445, or you can mail your gift to our office at PO Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina, 27519. In this moment, I invite everyone to take your gift and please place it over your heart with affirmation for yourself or for our community, and we'll say our offering affirmation in a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source. And so it is. Thank you all so very much for your generosity. And now please be generous as we welcome the lovely and talented Cindy Johnson back to her piano.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Dusty, but thank you, Andy, for reminding me one of my favorite quotes is from a song that I know called Little Green Bottle by Karen Taylor Good, but it says, the meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. And that's become sort of my motto in the last couple of years. There's a rainbow over my shoulder. There's a new world under my feet. And the dark of the clouds that surround us, the brighter the rainbow will be. So I called in all my relations. Every heart has a treasure to bring. We can circle the worst of the weather, take courage together and sing. Bless these souls that gather round now, shining through the storm. All the colors of the rainbow, each of us keeping us warm. In my dreams, I've seen our faces. We are shining from the heart. In this circle, love embraces each of us just as we are. And we are coming home again, setting our spirits free. And we are reaching out before anything we ever thought that we could be. So bless these hearts and bless this vision. Bless us where we are. Peace on earth is our decision, starting right here, beginning right now. I am the rainbow I've wanted to see. The circle of peace is complete, starting with me. There's a rainbow over my shoulder. There's a new world under my
Thank you, Cindy. If you would like prayer, please go to our website at trianglecsl.org, and on the home page there's a button in the upper right-hand corner. Click on that button and fill in the request form. We'll get the prayer and send it out to all of the ministers and practitioners. If you would like to dedicate a flower dedication to anyone for anything, please send an email to info@trianglecsl.org or to Reverend Dusty at dustyripplemeyer@yahoo.com. Please consider joining us for our community town hall meeting coming up Sunday, August 27th. It's been a year since we began to hold services here at 4 Points by Sheridan. It's been an amazing year. And we will come together to talk about the results of our most recent survey, the collective vision of our community visioning sessions, our financial health classes, home groups, and new projects on the horizon. Please join us. The meeting will start at noon after service. Please bring something to eat for lunch, or you can run out and grab something from a nearby restaurant. Classes. One of the best parts of our community are these amazing classes that are offered, and we will be facilitating an abundance class this fall called the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. For all of you who feel you are not experiencing the level of abundance you seek, we invite you to join us for this Eastern-inspired pathway to prosperity. We will be reading and discussing Deepak Chopra's book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, but we will supplement our intellectual understanding with holistic practices from India's Hindu and Vedic traditions. Each week, we will explore ways to embody these principles through practices such as yoga, simple poses, most of which can be adapted to practice while sitting in a chair, breath work, chakra alignment, and Ayurvedic medicine. It's science of mind meets Hinduism in a full-bodied embrace to raise your prosperity consciousness and to apply those principles for success in all areas of your life. This is a CSL certified class and can be used as an elective to enter into practitioner training. There are no prerequisites. The length of the course is 8 weeks. It'll be 8 Tuesday evenings with the exception of Halloween, October 31st. And it begins Tuesday, September 12th and runs through November 7th. Our very own Carol Cross, the amazing Carol Cross, will be the facilitator, and the cost is $245. There are payment plans available, and we will be using Dr. Chopra's book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. So that will be up on the website if it isn't already, and please join us for that. It's going to be amazing, I know. Later in the fall and spilling over into the beginning of the new year, we will be facilitating the class Roots. This course provides the student with an understanding of the historical roots in America of Ernest Holmes' philosophy. Specific emphasis is given to the works of Thomas Troward, Emma Curtis Hopkins, and Ralph Waldo Emerson. This is a CSL certified class, and it is required to enter into practitioner training. You must have taken foundations in order to take this class. This is a 10-week class, 5 Tuesday evenings in 2023 and 5 Tuesday evenings in 2024. It runs November 21st through December 19th, 7 to 9 p.m., and January 2nd through January 30th. The instructor is our very own amazing Reverend Betty Harris, and the cost is $245, and again, payment plans are available. And just a note about our Gourmets for God fundraiser. All of the events have been finalized and calls will be being made shortly. So at the end of the week, if you haven't gotten a call and you bid on some events, please reach out. Now, in the comfort of your own home, please stand for our August affirmations. This is a call and response, and please repeat it with meaning. I am a unique expression of spirit. I am here by divine appointment to add to the expansion of the world. Within me is a divine spark waiting to be realized and ignited by my awareness of it. Activating my inner sense of joy, I am aware that I was born with unique passion. The universe delights in expressing itself through me and as me. I know that each passion I have is imbued with a perfect pattern that is continually unfolding. As I listen to my inner guidance, I nurture my passion, and my passion ignites my purpose. I align myself with that inner feeling and boldly share my purpose with the world. And so it is. Whew. You may be seated. That was a especially passionate and empowering affirmation. Feel free to take these papers home with you if you'd like. Tape them to your bathroom mirrors and say them every morning and marvel at the passion that is added to your life. Now, please, once again, turn within, close your outer eyes as I speak a word of gratitude for this service today. So grateful in this moment for that beautiful spirit, that source of passion, that source of purpose, that source of all that is, knowing that I am one with it, that I am imbued with its qualities, and for that I am so grateful. I am so grateful for this service, for the amazing message that Reverend Andy spoke to us, knowing that we will go forth into this week a little more mindful of the way that passion informs our purpose, the way that passion upholds our purpose. I'm so grateful for this community, for all of its gifts, for all of the amazing opportunities that we have to form relationships, to be in class, to come each Sunday and love each other up. So grateful for the inspiring music and for the presence that we are in the world. For all of these reasons, I am grateful, and for each of you, I am grateful. Please anchor this prayer with me with our words, and so it is.
Thank you all so very much for your presence here today, for inviting us into your homes. Have a really amazing, amazing, amazing week. I love you all. Take care.